if let's say I am a 40-year-old plus millennial, I know this thing works, implementations aside. I go to my FA and my FA is a genuinely good guy. But your software flags things that my FA failed to mention. Do you think that it will become a situation where if let's say your two succeed, that all FA must adopt this? Otherwise, they might be seen as non-transparent.
Redflags is a web application that helps users to sort of get more clarity and sort of understand their financial documents better. So initially our target was youths, but now we felt that as a team, we felt that it could actually be applicable to anyone of any age. So what it does is, let's say you upload your financial documents, like ILPs, like Iki mentioned, then it'll help you break it down, simplify financial jargon, maybe highlight even some hidden terms that maybe reading through like an extensive 40-page document, you're like, oh, I have no time. And you help flag them out and then help you simplify them so that you can understand it better.
I'm curious though, of all the products, why ILP as the starting point to target this platform?
This is also a very practical thing because I already have my ILP. I just like, guys, can use my document.
I see. Okay, here's a question. So I've been reading up, curious man, right? So during your UATs, of course, you're going, for those people who don't know what UATs are, like user acceptance tests, basically get people to test it out. Is your UAT is like, okay, here's the standard thing that we think you should fit into the thing, then after that you get the output and see how it goes? Or is it just like, hey, Amma, you got ILP, you put inside and see how did that go? I'm curious about that because there are some projects which are AI powered that have a template that you fit in, and then the output comes out in a certain way within their parameters, then well done. Well, this one is just like, Amma's English not so good, right? She gets to select her preference already. Does she get to put in her own documents and then figure it out, or is it, I would say, a very well-controlled test environment?
Yeah, I think for UATs, we do that in both methods. So if you don't have a document or ILP for us to test out, you can just use some of our templates or like some of the papers that we've actually uploaded and we try with our own. And then you can see and judge the output based on your own liking. Or if you have something to provide, we'll gladly upload it and then you can review it to give us your opinions and feedback on whatever we generated for you. Yeah.
So my next follow-up question is, right, originally your target audience is youth, right? So obviously education level Singapore high, good. But if we want to spread it out, how do you determine whether or not your simple English, okay, so here's the predicate. In theory, according to law, fair due practices, the policy must be in simple English. We are now simplifying the simple English that happened to have some jargon inside, right? But then Amma only deals, and I'm talking about like 65 plus kampong style one, right? They deal with chicken trade and like law me, that kind of things. You know, it's never going to be like yes, your interest is in guy, right? So how is that going to be factored in terms of like the random age gap of your end users coming to your platform?
I think for now, our users are mainly the younger generation. Right. And in fact, they help their elderly relatives with it. I think we are not really targeting the older generations because we are targeted at the first timers. So people who are buying insurance first time, people who are doing investment for the first time. Yeah. And in some ways, it helps that we actually have like an AI chatbot within the Redflags tool, so that, you know, let's say there is a certain term like, like this jargon you try to explain to me, I still don't understand this term that you are trying to explain. Then you can add it into the AI chatbot, right? And then you can prompt like, hey, what does this exactly mean? You know, like in my context, what does it mean for me, like in dollars and cents?
Right.
Yeah. So you can actually prompt it further to actually feed answers that you actually understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also like tried like uploading a document before, like in your website. There's also like for example, some things that you consider as high importance, medium importance, and like low importance, right? So how are these like factors determined? And is it kind of fixed, or like will it like change over time?
Yeah, so to answer your question, it definitely changed over time. So with this, like Iki mentioned, we consulted people in the industry, some mentors that gave us some pointers that we should look out for. And that's how we actually determine how to categorize our low, medium, and high. So for our low, it's like to put in our terms, is like extra information. Doesn't have to do with money. So it could be like maybe it's like a company listing there, like Subaru. What is Subaru? Something like that. Right. Okay, then medium is have to do with could be dealing with money or any risk, and high is definitely with risk or something that might be long term. Yeah, so for this we actually refine it all the time after getting input from people in the industry, so that we do our due diligence.
Okay, now again back to the engineer. I love interrogating engineers. What is the accuracy rate you would say of all the things that you point out? Because here's the thing, right? Internet now very good at panicking for no good reason. Right? There are some commonly accepted, every policy will have one that we don't need to flag out. But again, to be unbiased, you have to raise it. If not, you'll be like, hey, why this one never raised this small little issue? Why my admin fee 3 cents, you never tell me? So some people will be very now about all kind of things because end users are end users. So how accurate can you confidently tell me that if I put in my ILP that it is objectively going to highlight all the things that should be highlighted? Because again, like there are some things that are just like low importance. But what if I care about low importance things? You know, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I get what you mean. Okay, so to answer that question, yeah, it's still a work in progress, of course. Where we just started back in June, and then regarding what we flag out and what we don't in terms of accuracy, so like me and the engineers, the 3 of us, yeah, we've just been experimenting with countless types of templates, countless types of documents that we find online or from friends who are willing to share, of course. Yeah, and then we try to make sure that whatever we feed into the AI will sort of flag out most of the things. Although there's been complaints about how cluttered the page looks. Like imagine you just highlight all the paragraphs. They look like just highlight the whole page. Yeah, but in that sense, when we check ourselves and we've asked different users who tested and people in the industry, they're quite satisfied with stuff that is highlighted. We've also got in contact with one of, I think, Iki's friends, one like FA, and he or she annotated like stuff, and most of our things that we highlighted were quite correct. Also, another thing is, in terms of the model, AI can always like hallucinate and stuff. So we've definitely put a disclaimer in as well.
Right. Yeah. Hot button question. This one iPad put down already. Okay, you are now uniquely situated to be, I would say, innovators in a certain sense. You are implementation aside, you will essentially also become like a market disruptor. If let's say I am a 40-year-old plus millennial, I know this thing works. Implementations aside, I go to my FA, and my FA is a genuinely good guy, right? But your software flags things that my FA failed to mention. Now, the FA is going to decide whether or not I have to adopt this tool to ensure that I cover all my bases, or else my client uses the tool and thinks I am not being truthful and transparent. Do you think that it will become a situation where, if let's say your tool succeed, that all FA must adopt this? Otherwise, they might be seen as non-transparent.
Honestly, I have never considered from the aspect where every FA will feel pressured to use it. However, this sounds like a great success for us. Like everyone will use it. Like the FAs will use it, the clients will use it. And I think it also helps in some sense, like it just clears all the barriers. It clears all the question marks. And everybody, they are sure, okay, this is what I'm selling you. And then they know, okay, I'm sure this is what I'm buying from you. So it helped to clear barriers. And I think rather than resistance from people who are like, I don't want to use your product to help scan through the financial documents, I think it's just like an encouragement. Like, hey, like if you use this, you can be sure that whatever that you explain, no matter what, I can cover the loophole. Yeah, I cover the loophole for you. So I think it sounds like a great story to me. Yeah.
I mean, eventually the end goal is to help people also make more informed decisions, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think our end goal is really, as a team, is just transparency. We want to cover all your bases and not say shortchange, but we just want to make a clearer picture for you. And if the FA also gets an advantage from reusing our product, so be it. Yeah.
I feel that the reason why some policies require de-obfuscation is because they know that there are good parts and bad parts to it. Which means, right, if let's say you become a household name, companies are going to know, we have a de-obfuscator, let's just mess with them and put in like, I changed my template, I put my formatting wrong. Is there a plan, like a forward-thinking plan to like hey, you think you're very clever, is it? I also can fight you. Like, because if not, the everyday change, you every day need to go and update your model, then there's no time for forward progression. You're just fighting the fire at the fire.
Okay, 加油 developers.
I think in terms of that, we understand that tech is always evolving. Companies are smarter than us. They're bigger than us at this point. Hopefully we get bigger.
Let's go.
And then they are innovating in ways that they can sort of beat our system. But in that sense, we're trying to do our due diligence to also evolve with the tech and whatever tactics they have, so that in the end, we keep up with them and we try to make sure that it's still as transparent as ever.
Mm.
Yeah.